Hello, Blitz fans of all ages, it's me, PlumCastle, and today we're going to be taking a look at yet another event that came into World of Tanks Blitz, and the best part is you can do this completely free to play, or should I say you can do this as completely free to play or non-free to play, as you so choose. However, the idea of this event is to be free to play, and it is one of these luxury lounge events. Now I have to say, this event has, at least in this format, been around for several years now, and I think maybe it would be nice to kind of see it not named the same thing as the last 3 times, but hey, I mean, it's still cool and it's still free, and we're going to be taking a look at it. First, we're going to be taking a look at the rewards, and then I'm going to circle back through and explain how to get them. So, moving away from the bottom to the top, most of it's kind of just boosters and stuff. So ironically, part of the way that you can get rewards is by exchanging your boosters. So I'm not exactly sure why you would exchange your boosters for boosters. I could see exchanging credits for boosters, but yeah, I think that's a little bit weird. Moving past that though, there is a camouflage. That is for the Centurion Mk 5.1 RAAC. Again, we'll kind of work our way up the list here, but in case you're wondering, this is what the camouflage looks like. Oh, it looks like I can't show it here. My rack does have the camouflage on it, so that's what it looks like. But that is only applicable to the Centurion Mk 5.1 rack. So you don't get that camo unless you have the tank. So just be careful with that one. After that, we have this Arum tree profile background, and I have to say this profile background actually looks kind of awful. I do not like this in the least. I don't know, it just looks a little bit lame, to be completely honest. And I have, up to this point, gotten, I think, every single profile background, i.e. all 2 of them, that have come around for these events. And I just don't feel compelled to get this one. It just doesn't look very good. But maybe you think it looks really cool, in which case, have at it. It is fairly expensive in terms of the diamonds. Again, we'll cover how to get those in a second. There's the 10 times multipliers. These are more useful if you're grinding through a tank line. Otherwise, they're not really all that beneficial, especially if if you're going to use them on a tank that you've already grounded the tier 10, or if you're using them on a tier 10, it's really not going to do a whole lot for you. And then we also have the animated avatar, which is essentially the tree from the profile background. Again, I'd have to say it doesn't look all that cool. I mean, it is animated, but it just feels a little bit lacking in my opinion. Moving on though, we're getting to the top 4. I'm actually going to jump to this camo. I don't know why. I wonder if this is like a switch up, because it seems to me like this particular camouflage should be where this one is, and vice versa, so that we would actually have the Centurion's camouflage next to the Centurion. So I don't know if that was just out of place or if it's supposed to be like that. Also, ironically enough, not exactly the most amazing looking background. Oh, sorry, the most amazing looking camouflage. It's a little bit messy, but it is there. It is ironically more expensive than the one for the Centurion, although that could have to do with maybe they want you to get the Centurion camouflage. Or more accurately, they probably want you to get the Centurion and then try to sucker you into getting the camouflage along with it, because it's technically cheaper than this one right here. But anyway, moving on to the last 3 items here. They are this box, which are the garage gear container. So those little garage, and I'll even show you here. For the example, this football in the back, and then the Ninja Turtle hideout over here. Those are things that you can add into your garage directly as a display piece, and this container is going to contain a bunch of different ones, I believe, but I'm not sure. I think these might all have been previous, so I'm not sure that these are actually anything new. There may be a few new ones sprinkled in there. I've honestly not done a whole lot with these because okay, I do know that one's definitely old, but I never really focused on them unless Wargaming just like gave them to me for free. And then after that is the Deluxe Limited Edition container. And basically what this is it's going to contain rewards from some of the previous events. So you got the Astron Rex along with its camouflage right here. Very colorful to say the least. And then you have the Scepter, which is a tier 8. it's essentially the M30, I believe, but it does have that emergency track ability, so if the track breaks, you can pull backwards. Other than that, it's, as far as I know, basically just a copy-paste of the Tech Tree tank, just a little bit cooler. And it also has a camouflage in here too. Honestly, I think the non-camouflaged version looks better in my opinion, but that's just me. There's a few other like filler items in here. So what is it? Parts for the T26E5, the ISU-122S. I believe I have that. The T34 and the Poodle. Drop chances are here if you want to take a look at them. You can also find this in the game. Beyond that, I might come back to this in a moment, but we need to move forward through the last reward, which is the Centurion Mk 5.1 RAAC. And I've already showed this tank, but this is what it looks like without the camouflage. Pretty decent tank, very good turret armor. The upper hull armor is actually pretty decent as well. I do occasionally get bounces off the side. Lower plate is, well, it's a lower plate, so you're definitely going to get hit a lot more often there than anywhere else. So it's a pretty typical medium. Better armor than a light, but it's not a heavy, and it can most definitely be played very incorrectly and get completely busted. But for a tier 8 medium premium tank, it's pretty good. And for the price of 7,500, yeah, I would say that's decent. So now that I've said that, let me go ahead and explain how you get the currencies, because there's two of them, and those are the gold bricks and the diamonds. Now, to get the gold bricks, you just need to get victories. Now, you have a maximum of 100 of them. I don't know if that's going to limit you on being able to get everything out of here, because the one item, actually, there's a few items, but one of the main items that does not require the gold bricks is the deluxe container. So, as long as you have inventory to pour into the diamonds, which we'll cover in a second, you can get a theoretical infinite amount of these. As well, you can get these without gold bricks either, however, they have a 10 cap on each of them. Now, the way to get diamonds is you can get them for mastery badges. Now, I'm a little bit rusty on how many you're going to get here, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So, an ace tanker badge is going to get you 180, which is pretty cool. However, considering that the Centurion itself is 7,500, a mastery is not exactly going to get you a ton in the way of that. Class 1s are 60, Class 2s are 30, and then Class 3s are 12. So basically 180 down to 60, then 30, then 12, kind of random. And again, there's a maximum of 100 of the gold bricks. Other than that, you can basically just have at it and go for it. Now, you can, like I said, you can get the diamonds through masteries, but the way you're probably going to be doing it is exchanging your resources. So you can see at the top, they've nicely listed out all of the things that I can go ahead and pay for this with. You can use active premium account, of which I have none. You can use gold. Would never recommend doing that unless maybe you like 100 gold left and you wanted to be able to get the tank. Other than that, not really worth it. Credits, those are a pretty easy thing to pour into there if you have enough. However, I'll just showcase this. If you take the credits and you try to exchange, it's 500,000 for 50. And even if I was to exchange all of mine, 17,000, I mean, that's pretty cool. I could get the profile background and a camo. That's actually not a whole lot. So yeah, even exchanging the 170 plus million, it's not going to actually get you a crazy ton. Free XP, I definitely would never suggest to do because the Christmas events usually require that, and their rewards tend to be a bit better. And then you can also exchange premium certificates. So if you have like 5 days, 7 hours, 9 hours, whatever the different ones are, you can exchange those. I usually leave these sitting in my garage. I don't tend to exchange them for this because, again, the return, at least in my opinion, is not like super worth it. And then the last thing, which are the things you're probably going to want to be spending because they typically, at least in my experience, have the better return, are the boosters. Not the gold ones. I, again, would not recommend exchanging the gold ones. Those are generally going to get you more just being used straight. However, the free XP boosters, the one I clicked on first are the crew XP boosters, the free XP boosters, the standard XP boosters, and the cooldown boosters. I would typically exchange a lot of those. So, for example, with my normal XP booster, I have over 2,000 of, which if I come around in here, it's a little bit hard. I wish they kind of had like some text to go with it. They only show the image, and unless you have a screen that is high enough resolution, it can be a little bit hard to figure out which one you're actually exchanging. However, I can tell that this is the normal XP booster, so if I hit claim, I can then select how many of these I want. And if we go crazy and try to do 2,000 of these, you'll get 6,000 diamonds. Now, granted, that's not a ton. That won't quite get you the Centurion, but at least in my personal opinion, I'd always exchange the boosters before I exchanged credits and other things. Because boosters, primarily, I don't really use them. And credits I do use a lot, and free XP is for other events, and gold is, I just would never spend gold on an event like this, especially considering that I have the Centurion. Now, all of that said, in terms of the rewards available, I would say, aside from the gold boosters, I could see potentially getting these, just adding. Definitely not exchanging your gold boosters for gold boosters. In fact, the exchange rate there's probably not very favorable. But other than that, I would really not recommend getting any boosters because, like I said, I typically exchange boosters for this event in the first place. For me, profile background, in the past, it has been pretty cool. However, this profile background is kind of disgusting. You can also see that in the various rewards that I have on my profile, it literally just clutters it. So I don't know. It wasn't a terribly great design choice in my opinion. So I wouldn't really say that one is super great. Maybe a little bit better than the avatar. I do think the avatar is probably about the lamest thing in here. I would, if I was grinding through something, a 10 times multiplier. Not only that, but 10 times multipliers. That's actually pretty cool for grinding through some sort of tank line. If you're into the garage trinkets, I would say this one's probably okay. Centurion is, again, a very good tank. This will take a little bit to actually be able to get, and it definitely looks better with the camo, but this camo is really only worth it if you already have the Centurion or you are going to get it, so in that case, this is less valuable. However, it is valuable once you actually have the tank itself. And in my opinion, I think the most valuable thing, despite being a crate, are going to be the deluxe limited edition containers, because in it doesn't really take much. You don't even need to get the wins. You don't need the gold bricks. You just need to have diamonds. And like we saw before, you can get them through masteries. You can get them through exchanging any kind of, like, whatever you feel like exchanging and is kind of worth exchanging for you. You can just turn that into diamonds, and you can get a bunch of these, generally speaking. And while it's not guaranteed, you have a chance at the Astron Rex. You have a chance at the Scepter and its camouflages and a few other tank parts. In general, it's just, in my opinion, going to be the better option. Now, you can see here 11%, 16%, well, roughly 16% for 5 parts for each of these tanks. So, theoretically, if you open enough of these, you might actually end up with one of the tanks. Again, not a guarantee. You very well could end up with like 80 for each, 80 parts for each tank when you need 100. But overall, I would say that these containers are generally what I would typically go for. In the past, like I said, I would definitely go for the profile background, but I'm sorry, this just is not convincing me to go for it. But anyway, those are the rewards. Those were my thoughts on the event. And so with that, hope you all enjoyed, and as always, have fun, good luck, and happy tanking.